Welcome back to the first playthrough of Neighborhood Conflict. Now, I know I've been talking bad about this game a lot. Not the game itself, but this particular game of what we roll for the kids. And how easy it is for me to win this game right now. But that's not necessarily true. That's usually not the case. And I've been saying that too. That's usually not the case. But also, if there was another human player here, that would completely change the dynamic, and it would be hard again. Hard to win. It'd be an extremely competitive and great game to play. Now, like I said, usually even on a solo player, you're going to get some competition. But with the way things rolled this game, it's just not happening. But like I say, if you throw another human player in there, it totally changes the dynamics, and that's a lot different than my other games that I've designed, because usually they require at least 3 people to be any fun. But this game usually is fine with 1 person, and even if you have 2 people only in this game, it's almost always fun to play. And another announcement, I have been working on a Neighborhood Conflict sequel for the tabletop game, and this is completely different than the tabletop or the video game, the Neighborhood Conflict sequel that I've been working on the last few years. Whereas the tabletop version of Neighborhood Conflict and the video game version of Neighborhood Conflict are pretty much very similar. Of course, the video game version is much more complicated, but you can generally look at them and say, yeah, these are basically at their heart the same game. But that's not the case with the tabletop and video game version of Neighborhood Conflict sequel. They're of course based on the same thing, but they are the concepts and ideas have strayed from each other completely. All right, so and the sequel hasn't strayed from this Neighborhood Conflict, but it's strayed from it. The video game of the same name is what I'm trying to say, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's get back into this. We are in January 1993. We have 3 years to play. I was going to try to finish this game today, but I got caught up in some other things, so I wasn't able to do that. Plus, I had to go running. So let's do parental disasters right away. Okay, so that's for the Elliott household. Okay, they're going to have a problem here. They're going to have to roll to diminish this company, which is ran by Shane Elliott. Since he's at this household, we gotta, and that's the only company, so we don't have to roll for companies. So if whatever this rolls is going to take down the net worth of this pyramid company right here. So let's see if it's 4 or more, the company's gone. And it's 9, so this company's out. Everybody loses their shares. And that's happening way too much. I was just about to take off with that company. So I'm not going to be able to do that now. I have to start from scratch. All right, Adam's household, good. Goldstein, 8. Hirolito, 4. Vanderbilt, 5. Peterson, 5. Okay. And yeah, another thing about that is that's another reason why I didn't finish this, not going to be able to finish this game today, is because I was actually working on some of the rules for the tabletop version of Neighborhood Conflict sequel. And it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of similarities to this game, but it's going to play a little differently. It's going to look a little different. Should be a lot of fun, so I'm not sure when I'll be able to get it out, but I'll definitely do playthroughs a lot faster than I did with this game. This game was actually made in 2018, and I can't remember when the second edition came out. I think it was 2022, but I'm not sure. So it's been a while, and now I'm finally getting around to making a playthrough on video. I think I have done some for the first edition, but I deleted them, so this is technically going to be the first one that's going to be permanent anyway. So let's see, I got to do rents. Just up here we have Reginald Goldstein's got to pay Eric Goldstein, since he has a higher perception than him, 1 coin. He's got to use his USD because he doesn't have any other types of currency. Okay, now I can take my turn, and I'm just gonna go ahead and build the pyramid company back. Actually, let's go with Star Company here, just to stay away from this mess up here. That's one problem. Usually the components in this game work pretty good, except for this is problematic over here because everything tends to congregate on this side of having 1 or 2 or 3 shares in the company. So I might have to redesign this part. But everything else, as far as I can tell, as far as I've played, for me personally, works perfectly fine. Okay, so I will put 10 shares for Shane Elliott in the Star Company, and it's going to have a net worth of 2 because I have 2 shops that I'm working at in Shakala. Now we can roll to see what the NPC Antonio Adams does. 3. He's going to issue, but he won't issue because he's already got 17. More than 10 or more, they will not issue any more currency. Okay, next up is Reginald Goldstein. 7. Travel. Okay, so he's going to go to where he's got the most friends. He doesn't perceive anybody as a friend, so he's going to go to a random place. Let's see if he goes to Houston, Highland, 10, or Ducktown, 2. So he's going to Highland. The reason why it was called that is it was in the backyard of Phil Hirolito's and Lacey Hirolito's house, and it was on a little hill, so he called it Highland. And that was founded after High Hills, which was actually just one really small mound, not a hill. Okay, so I don't even know if I'd call it a mound, maybe more like an incline. High Hills was. Okay, so who's up next? Eric Goldstein. 5. Socialize. Nobody to socialize with. Phil Hirolito. 8. He's going to lounge. Lacey. 2. Work. She can't work. And then Troy Vanderbilt. 2. Trade. Okay, so he will... Where is he? Troy Vanderbilt. Oh, he's here. So, but he has to use USD because that's all he's got. So, he can buy any 3 of these companies. So we're going to roll to see which one he wants. Moon Company. 2. Cross Company. 6. And Star Company, 10. So he's going to want to buy a share from me. So I'll go down to 9 shares. He's going to go to 1 share, and he'll pay me 1. And by the way, when you're the president, you can't deny the buying of shares in this game. You have to let it happen. And usually that's beneficial, but not always. Right now, this game, it's been very beneficial for me. Okay, let's see. Who is up next? Jake Peterson for the last one. And Jake Peterson will be a Neighborhood Conflict sequel. Most people won't steal. There's nobody to steal from. So we end January, go into February. And we'll do that real fast. Parental disasters. 6. Hirolito in trouble. Somebody's grounded. Phil. Lacey. They're both grounded. On the draw. Vanderbilt. And Ducktown. Or Peterson. Okay, nobody's going to be paying rent then, because Reginald moved to Highland. He doesn't got to pay rent in Shakala anymore. So that's my turn. I'm going to work. I can work twice in a row because I have it twice on my card. And I'll take this back up to 4. So I'm back to where I was when my company was destroyed. When all my assets were removed from my last company. So Star Company back up to a net worth of 4. Who's going to be able to get over 1 cent per share? Okay, Antonio Adams. He rolls a 4. He's going to trade. He is in Houston, so he can use gray currency. So let's see which company. Moon Company 10, Plus Company 5, Star Company 9. So he will purchase a share from Jake Peterson. So Jake Peterson will go down here, and Antonio Adams will move up. And Reginald, well, again, I think he was previously, for a while, be the president of Moon Company. And it's going to cost, since it changes the president, it costs double, so it'll cost 0.8 cents. And that's okay because right now gray currency is worth 1 cent. So he's going to pay that to, who was it? Jake Peterson? That owned that share? I think it was Jake Peterson. So Jake Peterson will receive 1 gray. So we'll take this down to 16. Find a 6. And he's going to go up to 1. He did have some gray currency before. He has some more. So now you can see the benefits of having currency in play. So you don't have to spend your USD. And not only that, but you can also see the benefits of having a nice household because it reduces the chance of being grounded and losing company assets or shops. Very important. And that's why this game is so brutal, this particular one, because we don't have any nice families with villages here. So we go to Reginald, who is in Highland. He's going to lounge. We go to Eric, who is at his household. He's going to lounge. 8. Phil here, Lita, Lacey are grounded. So Troy, 7. Travel. He's going to pick a random place. Shakala. Come to Shakala. No, he doesn't want to go to Shakala. 1. Houston, 10. And 5. So he's going to Houston and Jake Peterson. 5. Steal. Nobody steal from him. Ends the turn. Into March we go. I'll try to play 6 months each video. Then we can get this. I probably won't even get this done this week. Parental disasters. 3. Elliott. 10. Houston. Or Adams. Goldstein 5, Girolito 2. Loss of, that would be loss of shops, but there's nothing to worry, so these guys are back in the game. Vanderbilt 2, he's good because he's from a nice household. And then 1 for Peterson, he's grounded. Okay, no one's got to pay any rents, so we can start. I'm going to work, so I got to get this up before I have another parental disaster, so we're up to 6. I think this is the highest net worth a company's been in this game. That's bad, and the game's already almost half over, so I'm going to be working on that very hard. Antonio Adams. He's going to try to build. He's at a Stern household, so he needs to roll 1 or 2. He misses. And then, again, you can see how difficult it is to really establish anything at a Stern household, a village of a Stern household. And that's how it was back in the day, too. It was really rough. Usually you have at least 1 nice and a few moderates here in the game. But, like I say, the rolls of this game just didn't happen like that. 1, and you got to adjust your strategies for it, because it does happen sometimes. Reginald is going to work. So he can't work, but he can build, so he'll do that instead. And he will attempt to build in Highland, which he needs to roll 1 or 2. He rolls a 1, so Reginald has now taken over Highland. He will keep the same currency, so that's not going to change anything. But now Reginald is the chief of Highland. And we'll go to Phil here, Alito, see if he does anything. 5, socialize. He's going to try to socialize with Lacey because he has the highest perception of her. So he needs to roll a 6 or lower because her perception of him is 6. He's got it, so her perception or her opinion of him goes up to 6. Okay, Lacey. 5. Travel. So she's going to go to a random place. Chocolat, 5. Houston, 2. Ducktown, 2. She's coming to Chocolat. All right, Lacey. Come on over. Come on over. We match your color. And we will take your pennies for rent next turn. So hopefully, unless you get grounded. Okay, Vanderbilt. 4. So we have some potential rents coming up. He's going to socialize with Antonio Adams. Antonio Adams has a opinion of him of 6, so he needs to roll 7 or lower because his prestige is at 7. 9. Antonio Adams loses an opinion of Troy. And that brings us to Jake, who's grounded. So that ends March. We're now in April. And we'll do parental disasters first. Adams. Does he have a company? No, he doesn't. So nothing's going to happen. Goldstein, 4. That's another thing about investing in companies that are risky as well. 2. This is for Hiroleto, right? Yeah, I think so. So Lacey might be going home. Yep, somebody's grounded. So Phil. 9. Looks like Lacey is grounded. Oh, there goes my idea for rent. Collecting rent from her. And Vanderbilt, 4. Peterson's back in the game. Yeah, in the first edition, I did have, when NPCs were investing, I think they would, if I remember correctly, it was something like they would not invest in... They would first choose to invest in safer companies. So I think I took that out. I'm not sure. I should double check that before I do my next playthrough of this game. But that from right now, that sounds like it makes sense. But if I took it out, there was some other reason why I took it out. Okay. Maybe to simulate the fact that kids are terrible investors. I don't know. What am I doing? I forget where I am. I think I just did. Yeah, just did parental disasters. Got to do rent. Okay, so Lacey doesn't pay rent. She got grounded. She left. But Phil here, Lito, all right, he's got to pay rent. He doesn't have any currency besides USD, so he's got to pay that to Reginald. So that evens up. Reginald and Phil are now tied in the game. They're going to be tied in, it looks like, 4th place. Okay, so that is all for rent. And, oops, what am I doing? I'm going to just work. Take this up to 8. Now we're finally getting somewhere. I'm going to get this up as high as possible, especially now that I have still 9 shares. I could really cash in if someone tries to buy my share. So 7 for Antonio. He's going to travel to where he's got the most friends. I think he views anyone as a friend, does he? Not quite. He almost views Eric as a friend, but that doesn't matter. Eric's a household. They don't travel to households. In the first edition, they did travel to households. In the second edition, no, they only travel to villages. They only end up at households if they're grounded. 3 for Chocolat. 1 for Highland. 8 for Ducktown. Reginald's up. 6. Tax. Well, he can't tax himself. Now, taxing, you collect the equivalent of 1 cent per shop at a place that you're chief of. But no one else has a shop here. Very low economy game. This particular game has very weak economy. So that's not really a factor. The taxing usually only happens if you have a human player, or NPCs will do it in games that result in really high economies, strong economies. Okay, Eric Goldstein's going to lounge. Phil Hirolito is going to lounge, and Lacey's grounded, so Troy's 7. He's going to travel again. Doesn't view anyone as a friend. Shakala, 3. Highland, 7. Ducktown, 7. So we will Highland, 7, and Ducktown, 10. Going to Duck. Formerly known as Clown Town. Really weird thing about this flag. Okay, so this is just something I made up for the game. We didn't, when we were growing up, in the original game, we never made flags, as far as I remember. And I would probably remember something like that, which is really odd because I really was fascinated with the flags when I was a kid, so I'm surprised we didn't make our own. But anyway, we didn't. But anyway, when microciv was developed, then kids did start to make flags. I suggested it to them, and they really enjoyed doing that. And then when I started experimenting with AI characters, and some of those AI characters can make their own images, and they made, whoever took over Ducktown, I think it was Eloise McCall, a character, AI character, and she wanted to design a flag for Ducktown. And it was very odd because you know, Ducktown is being played virtually. It's still in the game virtually right now. I think it's going to be removed, but for now it's still a virtual municipality. Anyway, that AI developed a flag for Ducktown and used very similar colors to this that I just made up. There's a duck on it instead. I think the purple is a little darker. The green, the shade of green is a little different. And there's like a white stripe, but other than that, it's similar. I don't know if the AI found that image online somehow, and I just don't see that happening, and was able to look at the flag. I know some AI can do that, but I don't think they have that built in their system. I could be wrong, but the colors of the flag are so similar that it's like, I wondered, I'm like, what? Unless it could just be a huge coincidence too. But you can look that up on the Microciv Encyclopedia. You can see the new design for the flag, and it's crazy. I just couldn't believe it. But it's cool though. It's cool that it happened. And with that story, I just totally lost where I was. So I think I'm gonna have to end the video and come back and try to get as many months as I can